Let me tell you something. The world is changing and a lot of folks still ain't ready to accept it. But the truth is right there staring us all in the face. For years, everybody used to look one way, west. America was the dream, the destination, the standard. You wanted success. You went there. You wanted opportunity. You looked there. You wanted respect. You tried to talk like them, walk like them, think like them. But now the tables have turned. There's a new energy rising from the east, from a land that's been patient, that's been humble, that's been building quietly while the rest of the world wasn't watching. That land is India. See, India ain't playing around no more. This nation has taken its pain, its poverty, its struggle, and turned it into power. It has taken centuries of being overlooked and turned that into motivation. You look at what's happening right now. Technology, innovation, education, space, defense, economy. India is showing up and showing out. They're not waiting for approval. They're setting the pace. You know what really beats America? It's not just numbers or money or GDP. It's the hunger. That raw, unstoppable hunger to rise. It's the drive of 1 billion people who wake up every morning ready to work, ready to learn, ready to prove themselves. You can't buy that kind of spirit. You can't fake that kind of passion. America built its greatness on dreams. India's building its future on determination. America had its run. No doubt about that. But now it's time for another chapter, one where a nation built on diversity, culture, and relentless hustle stands tall and says, we here now. India's not copying anybody. They got their own style, their own rhythm, their own power. They're not trying to be the next America. They're becoming the first India. That's the difference. And let me tell you, the world better pay attention, because when 1 billion minds start moving in one direction with purpose, with vision, with faith, you can't stop that. You can't outspend that. You can't outshine that. India beats America not by fighting against it, but by rising beyond it, by showing the world that greatness ain't owned by one country, one color, or one flag. Greatness belongs to those who grind, those who believe, and those who never stop. So yeah, India beats America, not in arrogance, but in ambition. Not in pride, but in progress. Not in dominance, but in destiny. Because when destiny calls, no superpower can hold you back. India's rise represents a global power shift built on grit, education, and innovation. For years, the world underestimated the potential of a nation that was quietly preparing behind the scenes. While the spotlight was focused on established powers, India was building something stronger than any weapon or wealth, a mindset of resilience. Every challenge it faced, from poverty to politics, became fuel for transformation. The people learned to adapt, to endure, to keep moving forward no matter how heavy the odds were stacked against them. That's not just development, that's destiny in motion. The foundation of India's rise isn't privilege, it's perseverance. It's in the classrooms where students dream big despite limited resources. It's in the villages where technology is changing lives one smartphone at a time. It's in the cities where startups are rewriting the rules of global business. The new generation of India doesn't wait for permission to succeed. They create their own opportunities. They're educated, connected, and fearless. They understand that power in today's world doesn't come from armies. It comes from ideas. India's engineers, coders, scientists, and entrepreneurs are now shaping industries that define the future. The same country that was once seen as the world's back office has become the world's innovation hub. From space missions that cost a fraction of global budgets to digital systems serving billions, India is proving that efficiency and excellence can coexist. What was once considered a developing nation is now setting the standard for how modern economies can grow with purpose and inclusion. But none of this came easy. Every step forward was earned through struggle. The youth had to break barriers of old traditions. The economy had to fight through global skepticism. And the government had to rebuild trust from within. Yet through all of that, the nation's belief never broke. Grit became the fuel, education became the weapon, and innovation became the vision. The rise of India is not just about growth, it's about a mindset shift that says, we belong at the table. The power shift happening now is not accidental. It's the result of decades of quiet preparation, of millions of people working hard, dreaming big, and refusing to settle for average. True strength comes from hunger, not privilege. And India has that unstoppable hunger. The hunger to rise, to prove, to transform, to break free from limitations that once defined it. You can't manufacture that kind of drive in comfortable conditions. It comes from years of struggle, from generations that have known what it means to survive without being seen. That hunger lives in the hearts of young people who wake up before sunrise to chase education, in the minds of entrepreneurs who start with nothing but ideas, in determination of families who push their children to dream beyond boundaries. It's not the kind of hunger that fades with comfort. It's the kind that only grows stronger with every challenge. While privilege breeds complacency, hunger breeds creativity. When you don't have everything handed to you, you learn how to create something from nothing. That's what India's story is built on, resourcefulness. When one door closes, they find another. When opportunity seems distant, they build their own path to it. Every innovation, every milestone, every success is born out of necessity and desire. It's this same hunger that has pushed India to master technology, to lead in digital revolutions, to build one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It's not luck or coincidence. It's the outcome of relentless ambition meeting endless patience. You can see this hunger in the smallest corners of the nation. In a farmer who learns to use apps to manage crops, in a student coding from a remote village, in a worker who saves every rupee to start a business. That collective drive creates an energy that can't be measured by GDP or statistics. It's invisible but powerful, running through every generation that refuses to give up. The privilege of others may have built the past, but hunger builds the future. And India's hunger is not just for success, it's for respect, recognition, and impact. It's a hunger to be seen not as a follower, but as a leader. A hunger that turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into comebacks. A hunger that doesn't just dream, it executes, learns, and rises stronger every single time. America led with dreams. India is leading with determination and discipline. Dreams inspire, but determination builds. For decades, the American dream was the symbol of success, and it motivated millions around the world to believe that anything was possible. But as times change, the foundation of progress began to shift. In today's world, it's not enough to just dream big. You have to work smart, stay focused, and push through the noise. That's where India steps in. The country isn't just chasing dreams, it's building realities. Every sector, from technology to infrastructure, reflects a sense of discipline that's rooted in both tradition and innovation. It's a balance between ancient wisdom and modern ambition, between spiritual grounding and global competitiveness. Determination means showing up even when nobody's watching. That's been India's journey for decades. Working quietly, building systems, educating youth, and preparing for its moment. The dreamers imagine the future, but the determined build it piece by piece. India's growth isn't accidental. It's the result of consistency of millions of people who refuse to stop learning, adapting, and improving. Discipline has become the silent force behind every success story. From students mastering technology to scientists reaching Mars, it's not about shortcuts or instant wins. It's about staying the course even when it's tough. That's what separates those who dream from those who deliver. While many countries rely on privilege, India relies on persistence. Determination is woven into its DNA, seen in the way people handle adversity, in how they rebuild after failures, and how they continue to innovate despite limited resources. The discipline to wake up and try again, to refine skills, to stay humble in success and hungry in progress, that's the foundation of India's rise. Determination makes you unstoppable because it teaches you patience, focus, and resilience. The world is full of dreamers, but only the determined turn those dreams into legacies. India's discipline is not rigid, it's rhythmic, flowing through its culture, its workforce, and its education. It's a force that transforms vision into action, that turns potential into power, and that proves success doesn't belong to the privileged few. It belongs to those who stay committed long after the excitement fades. India's progress has proved that patience and persistence always outlast power and politics. Real growth doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort stacked over generations. India has learned to play the long game, to trust the process when results don't come immediately, to keep working even when recognition is delayed. This patience isn't weakness, it's strategy. While others chase quick wins and temporary fame, India has been quietly investing in education, technology, and self-reliance. It's been building layer by layer, brick by brick, and now the results are visible. The patience to wait and the persistence to push through are what separate those who talk about change from those who become the change. Every great nation has its defining moment, but what leads up to that moment is years of unseen work. India's rise didn't begin with headlines or big speeches. It began with people who refused to give up. Farmers working in harsh conditions, teachers shaping young minds, engineers designing solutions in small offices. All of them carried the same spirit of persistence. That spirit says, we'll get there, no matter how long it takes. The progress we see today is not sudden success, it's accumulated effort. It's patience wearing the armor of purpose. It's persistence refusing to bend under pressure. Power can change hands, politics can shift overnight, but persistence doesn't depend on who's in charge. It comes from the people, from the collective belief that tomorrow can be better if we keep pushing today. India's strength lies in that consistency, the ability to stay focused when distractions come, the discipline to continue building when the rest of the world moves on to trends. It's the quiet determination of a nation that believes time will reward effort. Patience has allowed India to endure, to adapt, and to rise stronger after every setback. Persistence has given it the courage to keep improving, to stay relevant, and to evolve faster than expected. Together, they've built a foundation that's deeper than politics and stronger than power. When the noise fades, what remains standing is the work done with patience and the victories earned through persistence. Greatness isn't about imitation. India wins by being the first India, not the next America. For too long, the world has measured progress through someone else's lens, comparing nations by standards that don't fit their stories. But true greatness doesn't come from copying another path. It comes from creating your own. India's strength lies in its identity, its culture, its spirituality, its balance between tradition and technology. The nation isn't trying to mirror Western systems. It's redefining success through its own values. That's what makes this rise different. It's not about competing for validation, but about showing that progress can look different and still be powerful. India is not trying to sound like anyone else or move like anyone else. It's writing its own script, driven by its people, its dreams, and its destiny. The world used to see India through the lens of limitation, but now it's seeing innovation born from diversity. India's creativity doesn't follow trends, it creates them. Its solutions are unique because they come from real challenges, from understanding what it means to build with less, to innovate with purpose, to succeed with heart. That originality is what gives India its edge. Copying someone else's formula can get you recognition, but creating your own gets you respect. The beauty of India's journey is that it doesn't reject its roots while reaching for the future. It blends old wisdom with new ambition. Ancient philosophies of balance and mindfulness now sit beside cutting-edge technology and scientific breakthroughs. The rhythm of the past moves in harmony with the beat of the present. That's not imitation, that's evolution. India has proven that you don't have to erase your identity to succeed globally. You can stand proud in who you are and still lead the world forward. Every nation has a role in history, and India's role is not to repeat what others have done, but to show a new way of doing it. Its power comes from authenticity, from being real in a world that often rewards imitation. India wins by staying true to its character, by embracing what makes it different, and by turning that difference into dominance. The world doesn't need another America. It needs an India that's unafraid to be itself. Real victory isn't about defeating others, but about elevating yourself beyond comparison. India's journey isn't about proving someone wrong, it's about proving what's possible when belief meets action. Competing with others can create momentum, but competing with your own potential creates mastery. India's rise is not built on rivalry, but on self-improvement, on the quiet understanding that greatness comes from growth, not conflict. The world often celebrates the idea of beating someone else, but true success happens when you outgrow your limitations, when you build a foundation so strong that you no longer need to look sideways. That's what India is doing, focusing inward, strengthening from within, investing in its people, and building its systems to sustain progress for generations. Elevating yourself means choosing vision over validation. It's easy to chase numbers, rankings, and comparisons, but it's harder to focus on the long road of real development. India has chosen that road. Instead of competing for temporary applause, it's building infrastructure, empowering youth, and leading in technology that transforms lives. Real victory is not loud, it's steady. It doesn't demand attention, it earns respect. India's growth represents that kind of victory, one where you rise without pushing others down. The focus is not on overtaking America or any other nation. It's on becoming a version of itself that's stronger, wiser, and more capable than yesterday. Self-elevation requires discipline and humility. It takes knowing that success is not a race, but a rhythm. It's in the consistency of hard work, the patience to wait for results, and the courage to stay grounded while rising higher. India is demonstrating that power doesn't have to be aggressive. It can be purposeful, compassionate, and visionary. The victory that matters most is the one where the world recognizes your progress, not because you shouted the loudest, but because your work speaks for itself. Every nation that rises must eventually learn that comparison limits growth. When you stop trying to outdo others and start trying to outdo yourself, that's when transformation begins. India's focus on self-elevation has made it unstoppable because it's not chasing anyone's shadow. It's building its own light, walking its own path, and setting an example that real power isn't about domination. It's about evolution,